أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأصلي وسلم على من لا نبي بعده محمد بن عبد الله النبي الصادق الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, dear respected brothers and sisters at AMC, it gives me great pleasure and honor to be talking to you from a long distance, all the way from UAE actually. But it's also disheartening that we're unable to meet this year or to be in the masajid as usual, but khayrun insha'Allah, qaddarallahu wa ma sha'a fa'al. This is Allah's decree, and we are content with whatever Allah Azza wa Jal sends our way. Nonetheless, we'll just spend a few minutes insha'Allah today and hopefully a few more times in the month of Ramadan to talk about reminders of the essence of the month of Ramadan and how we take full advantage of it. It is no doubt that the month of Ramadan is the month of goodness, Shahrul Khairat, and it is a very short period of time that comes and goes, yet the life of a human being does not necessarily continue forever. It is one of Allah's major commands. It is something that is very important for us to abide by and to submit to the will of Allah Azza wa Jal and His commands in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, where He says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. It has been prescribed upon you as it has been prescribed upon those who came before you, so that you may attain righteousness. It's indeed a very happy time for all Muslims, even in difficult times, to be able to witness yet another Ramadan. It's one of the major ibadat that is very difficult for many people to understand the essence of it when they focus on the physical acts of Ramadan, which is abstaining from food and drink. Yet there's so many goodness out of that Siyam and so many rewards that we can get, and we'll talk about very few of them. As it was said in the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, as narrated by Ahmad an Jabir radiyallahu anhum ajma'een, where he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إنما الصيام جنة يستجن بها العبد من النار. That means a siyam is a shield, it's a protection, and it protects us from hellfire on the Day of Judgment. So it's a shield that you build up throughout your life, and on the Day of Judgment it comes in handy to protect you and I, inshallah, from hellfire. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam said in the hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, يا معشر الشباب من استطاع منكم الباءة فليتزوج ومن لم يستطع فعليه بالصوم فإنه له وجاء. He said he was ordering the youngsters of the Ummah that whenever they have the ability to get married, and if they cannot get married for financial reasons or any other reason, they should practice as-siyam or fasting, because it is a shield that protects them from falling into sins. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Abi Umamah radiyallahu anhu warḍah came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, Murni bi amrin yanfa'uni Allahu bih. Ya Rasulullah, order me or command me or tell me to do something that would be extremely beneficial to me. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, alayka bis-siyam fa innahu la mithla lah. He says, start fasting or practice fasting, because there is nothing like fasting. There's no other ibadah that reaches the level of as-siyam. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Suffices you, brothers and sisters, to know that in paradise there's a gate designated specifically for those who fast, as was narrated on Sahel ibn Sa'd radiyallahu anhu, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن في الجنة بابا, that among the different gates of heaven there's a gate, يقال له الريان. Its name is الريان. يدخل منه الصائمون يوم القيامة, that those who practice fasting throughout their life enter through that gate on the Day of Judgment. لا يدخل منه أحد غيرهم. No other people shall enter through that gate except those who are fasting. يقال أين الصائمون فيقومون لا يدخل منه أحد غيرهم فإذا دخلوا أغلق فلم يدخل منه أحد. And it be called, where are the fasting people? And they shall rise and they should enter, and no one else will enter with them, and behind them that gate will be closed, as was narrated in Al-Bukhari. Brothers and sisters, as-siyam is unlike any other ibadah. It comes in on the day of judgment to intercede on your behalf and mine, bi'idhnillah, as narrated عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنهما أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الصيام والقرآن يشفعان للعبد يوم القيامة. That your siyam and your Quran, and mind you, Ramadan is Shahrul Quran, is the month of Al-Quran, they come to intercede on your behalf on the day of judgment. يشفعان للعبد يوم القيامة يقول الصيام أي ربي منعته الطعام والشهوات بالنهار فشفعني فيه. The siyam comes in and says, Ya Allah, Ya Rabb, I have prevented him or prohibited him from eating and drinking and following desires in the day of Ramadan, so allow me to intercede on his or her behalf. And the same thing with the Quran. Al-Quran says, يا رب منعته النوم بالليل فشفعني فيه فقال فيشفعان. Ya Allah, the Quran says, I have prevented him or her from sleeping at night. They were reading the Quran. So Ya Allah, allow us to intercede on his behalf or her behalf, and it would be said that they will be granted that intercession on behalf of us بإذن الله. من حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه وأرضاه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم. This is a hadith that we frequently hear, but often may not pay full attention to it. It means he صلى الله عليه وسلم said that whomever fasts Ramadan out of iman and out of ihtisab. So it's not a simple ritual that we practice every year simply because Ramadan has arrived. It is based on the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. We fast because Allah commanded us to do so. So we are fulfilling a command of Allah Azza wa Jal. That's number one. Wahtisaban, and that we actually expect the reward from Allah Azza wa Jal by fulfilling that command. So whoever does that, غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. And this is a sentence that, again, we hear frequently, yet not always we pay attention to what it means. It says, غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. That person would have all their previous sins forgiven. Actually, we cannot even imagine the number of sins we have committed in our lives. To be honest, we can't even remember the sins that we've committed in the previous year, let alone in our entire life. So try to put that hadith into perspective, and you'll realize, dear brothers and sisters, that indeed Ramadan and fasting, there is no other ibadah such as that. And I'll leave you with the hadith, the last hadith, where it talks about as-sawm or fasting as a cause of happiness and goodness, not only in this life but in the hereafter as well, as was narrated من حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه وأرضاه, where he said للصائم فرحتان للصائم فرحتان. To the fasting person there are two joyous events. فرحة عند فطره, a joyous event when she or he breaks the fast. وفرحة عند لقاء ربه, and a joyous event when he or she meets Allah Azza wa Jal. And it suffices us to hear this part of the hadith, or even just the first half of this hadith. You know, when you break your fast, people often rushing to break their fast and eat food and drink, because most of the times, being realistic, we only think about being hungry and thirsty. When you hold that date in your hand and the adhan is about to be called, and it starts by saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, start making dua, put that date in your mouth, and start continuing the dua. This is a very joyous event, and this is a moment where the dua shall be accepted by Allah Azza wa Jal. And when you do that, and when you fast Ramadan out of iman and out of ihtisab, you will definitely have another joyous event when you meet Allah Azza wa Jal, when most people, most of mankind would be terrified and scared of their final destiny, imagine you being very comfortable and content and joyful and happy to meet Allah Azza wa Jal. This hadith is really amazing, and it sums the beauty and the essence of fasting and the month of Ramadan in very short words. And it says, وَلَخَلُوفُ فَمِ الصَّائِمِ أَطْيَبُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ مِنْ رِيحِ الْمِسْكِ. It suffices you to know that even if you develop some not so pleasant odor out of your gut when you're fasting, that to Allah Azza wa Jal this is better than and most beloved to Allah Azza wa Jal than any other fragrance in this life. Dear brothers and sisters, Ramadan is a school. It teaches you a lot, and you get to harness a lot of goodness. And its days, unfortunately, are very short, and they pass by rather quickly. And that's why we remind one another to take full advantage of this month and to make sure that we take advantage of every moment that passes by, so that we can harness the most amount of reward from Allah Azza wa Jal. هذا والله أعلم وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم بارك لنا في شهر رمضان، اللهم بارك لنا في شهر رمضان، اللهم بارك لنا في شهر رمضان، اللهم اجعلنا من عتقائك فيه من النيران، اللهم اعتق رقابنا ورقاب والدينا من النار، اللهم اعتق رقابنا ورقاب والدينا من النار، اللهم اعتق رقابنا ورقاب والدينا من النار، اللهم تقبل صلاتنا وصيامنا ودعاءنا وقيامنا، اللهم لا تردنا خائبين ولا خزايا ولا محرومين ولا مطرودين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وهذا والله أعلم وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. And we shall inshallah meet again بإذن الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.